Hello everyone, pardon my messy room and this tangled little headset cord. Not something I can fix, unfortunately, but I have exciting news. I ordered this beaver off of eBay, actually got an excellent deal on it. And although it's beautiful and also pretty freaking huge, it's missing some teeth. We have the most obvious missing front tooth here. We've got missing front teeth that are not, well, not front, but, missing molars here. And we got another missing back molar right here. So I have an idea, which is I'm going to make little gold teeth for this guy. I have actually done this before with a skunk skull and a raccoon skull, but I've never tried it on an herbivore. Like a pure herbivore, like this little guy. Beavers might actually eat fish. Either way, it has herbivorous teeth and little, front chompers. So that is what we are going to try today. I'm going to film my progress, and we are going to have a great time. Alright, so the first step of this process is going to be the sculpting of the teeth. I'm kind of measuring out the current one just to see the size, and then I'm going to try to replicate it as best I can by making little, a little sausage, and sticking it in the tooth hole, seeing quite how it measures up, seeing the thickness, paying attention to if I need to make it wider, if I need to make it fatter, if I need to, how I need to flatten the tip, things of the like. So this is actually looking not too bad right now, but there are a couple changes you need to make. Beaver teeth have a little flat dent in them, so I'm going to try to add that, although it does kind of squish out the side when I push inwards in the clay, so this might be a little difficult to fix. I will do a bit of sanding afterwards just to smooth out some rough edges, a little bit off camera, but I'm going to try to do some of it on camera. I think this tooth is the only one that's going to need it. Occasionally I will bring the skull a bit out of frame just because I need to get a closer look at it, but I am trying to keep it in frame as long as I can. There's a lot of very, very teeny tiny little tweaks that need to be going on here, and so even though I have the general shape, I'm probably going to be at this for quite some time, just because, man, I want to get it right, I want it to look good. Even if I think it looks good now, it might not turn out well after it's baked. We're going to have to see. I think this one's pretty okay for now, so I'm going to set it aside. There's other teeth we need to make. As you can see, he's missing 3 teeth on his top jaw. So I'm going to start with the back tooth first, just because I have something to look off of as a reference, which is the back tooth on the other side of the skull. So really I'm just going to stick some clay in there, make sure it actually fits in the hole, sculpt it to the hole. And I've never done this with flat herbivore teeth before, so that'll be interesting. I'm not sure if it'll be easier or harder because herbivore teeth usually have flatter surfaces, but there's a bit more texture to those surfaces. This guy's got little wavy things, not sure how well you can see those, but I will probably post before and after pictures so you'll be able to see them. I don't know why I said probably, I definitely will. Here I was just searching through my bag trying to find a certain tool that I realized I don't really need. So now you can see my COVID vaccine little buttons I got when I got my shots. Get vaccinated, kids. Anyways, I realized I was a bit stupid and that and that I don't have a specific tool for making tiny clay impressions, so I'm just going to use this mechanical pencil that I happen to have. It was really just kind of laying around. Oh, you can see my leg slightly out of my pants, but that is fine. Pants roll up sometimes. Now I think I'm good with that one, so what I'm doing here is just Googling references for the 2 teeth in the front that are missing because I don't have anything to work off of there. So instead of kind of mirroring what's already existing, I have to look up a whole new reference. Thankfully I found a really good one on a university website that allows me to zoom super far in. So I do have a pretty good reference for what I need to make. And these might be a bit trickier than the last one, though I'm actually kind of surprised the front tooth is what took the longest. I thought that'd be the easiest. Although the texture is not super difficult to replicate if you're just using a little pen, which I wasn't actually using the tip of the pen, I was just using the, or well, not the lead of the pen, I was just using the tip, which I guess is the opposite of what I just said out loud. So I'm going to do it again. This one actually, I got done a lot faster than I thought I would. It looks good when I cross-reference it. There's a couple little tweaks I need to make. I might go back to it when I'm just making the other one, which is what is going on here. I'm going to try to match these as good as I can, but it's a little bit hard when you're working with clay. It can be difficult to mirror things. I know I just did that, but sometimes it's even more difficult to mirror something you've already sculpted than something that already exists. Which doesn't sound like it makes sense, but I don't know. Maybe other sculptors will know what I mean. Not that I consider myself a great sculptor. I can make little animals, but a lot of the stuff I do is just make teeth for skulls, which I haven't seen other people do it a whole lot, so I think it's a very neat thing to do. So that is what I'm going to do. Again, taking it out of frame just to take a closer look, doing a bit of the pencil marks, kind of realizing I need to squish them on the end because you can't really tell, but the teeth, they're very flat, and there's still kind of like a pointiness to the side of the tooth. Like, yeah, it's flat, but it's also pointy on the side. I might show a close-up just to see what the hell I'm talking about, but it's making it actually quite a bit more difficult to replicate the other side now that I've removed some of the clay. So I may just need to take it out and, put it back in and try again. Sometimes taking it out is the best way to just manipulate the clay without having to really worry about, matching it perfectly right away, just because you're like, I can't even get this general shape right, we need to make some major changes. I'm adding a little bit of the clay back just because it was slightly smaller now, and that's not really what I wanted. Although, we need to make a lot of tweaks here. This is not a perfect art. I think it's coming along better now. It still looks a little small, but I think that's because I need to squish it out on the side a little more. Definitely looking better, though. Sorry that it keeps going out of camera. But I think I'm going to actually wrap this one up really soon. Yep. After I bake these in the oven, I'm going to go back, sand them, and then I'm going to record that video and clip it on the end of here. Really quickly, what I'm doing is taking sandpaper, sanding down the sides, and I'm also going to sand the front of the tooth a little bit, just because it's a little thicker than what the beaver tooth actually looks like. Kind of happens with clay. This is going to be a pretty short clip, just because sanding doesn't take very long. I'll stick it in, compare. The tooth does jut forward a little bit, but I do have a fix for that. When I eventually glue it in, I'm going to have a rubber band to kind of pull it forward. Tested that before I sanded it, and it works like a charm, so that is going to be what I do as the glue is drying, and then it should dry in place. Super glue works super well for holding in teeth. Anyways, we're pretty much done with the sanding. Again, not a very long process, and this front tooth is really the only one that needs it. The other ones are very lumpy, but that is intentional because that is the texture of the actual beaver teeth. Here's another very quick clip. I am using a titanium white acrylic paint to paint the teeth. They're actually going to be quite hard to see just because it's the same color as my notebook, but trust me, they'll still be there. The base coat, being white, is going to help the gold stand out much better. It's going to make the yellows look more vibrant than if I didn't have a base coat, and it'll also be more obvious if I've actually painted the whole thing, whereas gold on like a beige color, you may miss a couple spots and not notice immediately, and then you go and look back and it's like, oh, well, I'm stupid. So this is a bit of an idiot guard. Yes, I'm getting paint all over my fingers, but I paint a lot and I'm kind of used to this. I get paint all over the place, all over my fingers, my arms, sometimes my face. I don't know how that happens, but it does. I'll wash my hands, and all we need to do is wait for this to dry, and then we'll do the real gold coat. Alright, so now we're out of the gold paint. I actually had to run to the art supply store to get some, and it came out a bit like a poop, but that's fine. It will do well. The lights are a little bright. It'll look a lot better when it dries, but also when I get a more neutral colored light shining on it. But we're just going to paint the teeth. Pretty simple over the base coat. Might do a couple other layers off camera just to make it a little easier. Make sure I cover all the ground. But this is pretty much the last step in our process before we glue in the teeth. and after then I will show you guys the results of this fun little project. It's actually not as hard as I thought it would be, and I had a great time doing this, so I hope everyone else watching enjoyed, and I am very excited to show you all the final result because I think it is going to look pretty cool. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you back when I do maybe a couple extra layers of gold paint on, when I glue the teeth in, and the final result. Alright, so I'm here to show you the final result now. We got, I think, a bit better lighting. Not as white. So here we go. Here is the final result. The top and bottom tooth, tried to make them as even as possible. They're a little bit uneven on the bottom. The glue was not participating. It can be pushed a little bit. I might try to reglue it in different positions, but we'll see. We've also got these sparkling bottom teeth. You can't really tell, but they've got a little texture to them that's similar to the existing texture. So overall, I am pretty happy with the results of this little project, and I'd like to thank you all for accompanying me on this journey. It was very fun to do a beaver skull for the first time, and I mean, I'd like to do something similar in the future if I could find some little skulls with missing teeth. So, yeah, thank you all for attending. Have a wonderful day. Stay curious. Pick up random bones you find in the woods. It's very fun. Yeah, that's it. Bye.